Hi, I'm Richard. I actually need you all to do me a favour. It's not going to make sense to you, and often people say I don't make sense in any case. I need you to all confirm now that we're at a book launch. Okay, are we all at a book launch? Yeah. All right, come and talk to me as to why I asked for that. But basically, there's a ban on some things I'm not allowed to do. Now, I know what you said about heroes, yeah? But sorry, I've got to say, Tom, Nicola, Greg, Natasha, everybody who was involved in the SHAC campaign are a personal hero of mine. And obviously, they're heroes of the animal liberation struggle. But they're also heroes of every struggle of the oppressed masses of our time. And we learn from that. And actually, I just want to add one other thing. Because Tom said there about like small groups around and connected in. Well, when I first started getting involved in activism, there was 2 of us, and we were in a rural area. No, everyone else was very conservative, didn't really like things, and we did lots of little actions, inspired and reading about SHAC. No one ever knew. Thankfully, the police never knew, and we never advertised them. So those are the sort of things that happen on there. But one thing about heroes is they don't seek, or good heroes, shall we say, is they don't seek that hero worship for themselves. Yeah, they want, as taking on what you said there, they want other people to be normal, everyday heroes. And that's what I'd say about this book. And Tom's already touched on this, but you've got to read it. You've got to read it, but heroes don't want you to just read their book. They don't want you to read a piece of history. They want you to read it and emulate it. You want to in fact, I don't know how, I've read a pre-copy of it. I don't know how you could read that book and just go, oh yeah, that was nice, and put it back on your bookshelf as a piece of history. You have to read it and go, for me it was like, that action's sick, how can I copy that? How can I do this? And that's actually what you've all got to do. You've got to make that book, what's that phrase someone said one time, yeah? This book is dangerous. That book needs to be fucking dangerous, yeah? And I'll just touch on a few things that further inspired me about SHAC that we've taken to heart on starting our movement. Yes, there's the theories and all that, and maybe I'll touch on that really quickly, but I'm an educated guy, right? I left school at 15 and coming back today, yeah? I need things quite simple. The first thing is, those fuckers in there, they are our enemies, yeah? We don't appeal to people who work in places like that. We don't appeal to people who make weapons to kill Palestinians. We must view them as an enemy and use our strategies in that very same way. We need everyone to be relentless, but we also need some people who want to give up fucking everything. I don't need to say that to people who live here, who give up everything and dedicated everything to that cause, to sweat and bleed for that cause and risk everything for that cause. Because there's suffering in there's suffering going on all around the world, and if we want to do that, we have to, in a way, I know that's what's that phrase? You can't destroy the master's house with the master's tools. Well, I think you can, actually, sometimes. You can turn that one around, yeah? So we have to work like the fucking capitalists do sometimes, yeah? In a much more egalitarian and non-hierarchical way, obviously. So the enemy, name the enemy. A diversity of tactics, all of them, yeah? Don't have some arbitrary group tell you that this is a non-violent action or this is this, yeah? Okay, they're all important as well, but we've got to have a whole diversity of those tactics, and we've got to support each other in doing that. Enemies, good. So a full diversity of tactics is really key. So for us, on looking at SHAC and various other things around that, you know, what is it? Stop Huntingdon Animal Cruelty. Great thing, 4 words, yeah. We thought we'd go one better, and we come up with 3. Shut it down, because I can't struggle to remember 4 words. Having a key strategy, a key thing that goes on that and goes after the worst company first. And then, as we've touched on, those secondary, those tertiary targets, all those companies that uphold them. And also, within that diversity of tactics, there is no glory in getting arrested, yeah? Have plenty of actions where people go and destroy things and get away and never get caught, inshallah. Okay, that's what we have to have, that broad range. So for us, also having a plan and an idea as to what the SHAC model for SHAC, for us, there's 5 key things that we do. Any of our actions have to disrupt things. At the bare minimum, disruption obviously is like a camp, is people sitting in front of it. At the higher end, there's no building left. All right, that's pretty disruptive. Then we have creating that ongoing dilemma for the company. Can they still do it? Will these secondary and tertiary targets, even it's such a small part of their business, if you hit them again and again and hard, they'll create that dilemma for them. And obviously I don't think any of us get quite right, the dilemma for the state, because it's like, are they going to say we're all terrorists, or what do they call us today, extremists? And they pass new laws for use. Okay, you want to just play with that a little bit so we don't get all taken out too quickly. And then, again, which SHAC showed us, relentless, sustained actions. It's no good just doing one-offs here or there. We used to do that with the group I was in, and we'd go home and feel good about ourselves once a year, once every 6 months. But that wasn't enough, because the company really didn't care. We need to go in, week out, if not day in, day out. Sustained actions. And then that 4th one that everyone's already touched on here. Some people have to sacrifice a lot. Our brothers and sisters in occupied Palestine, they are martyred. They sacrifice their lives. The animals in there sacrifice their lives, not willingly, every day. Some of us have to take it on and sacrifice. And sacrifice works the wrong way round. People see it and actually go, do you know what? If those people are doing that, they must be onto something. And therefore I'm going to step up and do that. And remembering our enemy. Our enemies don't like sacrifice. When people are crazy enough, like SHAC do sometimes as well, to call open things and still storm in places. Yeah, they think that's crazy. When they saw us in Oldham and we have a public thing, we have a rapper low key there, hundreds of people outside, and other people get on a roof of a different building and then run across one roof to another roof, and one of them fell through. That was a bit of a over sacrifice. He didn't die. That scares the enemy even more. These people are fucking crazy. Yeah, and that's what we need to get into their heads. And then the 5th one we've already touched on, right? Is you've got to be focused. We've got to choose those targets. There's so many fucking evil companies out there. But let's go one at a time and pick them off and pick the companies around them, because that's how you get close to it. And SHAC, we're obviously within that whisker of closing them down. So I'm going to close there. We'll be around if you want to have a chat and stuff as well. Buy the book. Read the book. Don't put it on the shelf. Take those actions, be inspired them, come up with your own, come up with better actions, follow the ones that were really good, and let's shut all these places of oppression and torture down. Thank you.